What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video on the AJ Plays channel. Today, if this sounds a little bit different, I'm using a different mic, so let's just see how this goes. But anyways, today I'm doing a video just discussing what we expect of each of the eight MLW teams heading into the 2022 season. There's some teams that you know, you could say generally, you want them to return to the playoffs, you want to win the World Series. Right now, I think each team does have a different goal, and there's for certain reasons why, as to why that's the case. So that's what we're going to get into specifically. This time, we started off the last MLW analysis of analyzing all eight teams video. We started that off with the AL. We're going to do the NL this time. I'll start off with the champions. So, Downtown Diamondbacks, in my opinion, again, it only makes sense. At this point, with this team, Jimmy Norp might only get better. I think it's his time to just keep going in the league with the way he is. Just the Diamondbacks are due to repeat their dominance. I think that's what we expect. Um they're definitely going for the World Series again. There's no way that they're not, and that's what we expect of them. Another World Series championship. We expect them to repeat. We expect them to maintain their dominance, and also to draft Nathan Boyar. Please do it. Even Nathan is on board with this. So next up, we'll do the Great Lakes Gators. Now, after last year, they were much more inconsistent than they were in their 2020 season. Rather than going on one slump toward the end but getting hot again during playoff time, the Gators really seemed all over the place last year. So what we expect them this year, we need them to find more consistency in each of the games, each of the series. You can't be losing 2-1, sweeping the next, losing again 2-1. You need to find some consistency with your team. The matchup shouldn't matter. You should be able to dominate every single day out there. You got to be able to do what you know to do best. Now, I think obviously their intention, return to the World Series. They may not win it, but what we expect them to do, we can see them returning. A lot of teams were going to say we want them to go to the World Series because that's what we expect them to do based on their talent. Realistically, from the NL, as of right now, I can expect either the Downtown Diamondbacks or our next entry here, the Eastern Eagles, to go to the World Series. And that is what I have for the Eastern Eagles. For the last 2 years, these guys missed out in the from the World Series several times, exiting in the divisional and championship series for the NL. I believe that it's time for them to return to the World Series now that they're going to have a full year of Dallas Allen and Blade Walker, hopefully. They'll have another draft pick that they can throw in there. Plus, Daniel Schultz and Zach Whalen still being the way that they are. I think it's time for them to make their return. We expect them to do really well this year with all these guys coming together and Daniel realizing that it's time for Price and Smith to be in the back of the Eagles' mind going forward. That's the core that they got to run with. Daniel Schultz, Zach Whalen, Dallas Allen, and Blade Walker, plus the draft pick every once in a while. But hey, it's all based on availability too, so you never know what's going to happen. Now, obviously, I think the Midwest Mallards. If you're drafting with the number 1 overall pick and you do have the 6th overall pick from the Metro Magic, I fully expect you guys to do what the Gators did and at least make the playoffs after having the 1st and 6th picks in the draft. I think you're the team right now that has the most picks in hand. You have a guaranteed 4 through the next 2 years. 4. And that's without possibly trading away Caden Irwin, because who knows what the hell is going on between Drew Davis and Caden Irwin. But the point here is you have the core lined up and ready to go. Tommy, I am expecting you to do really well this year, both managerial, on the managerial aspect, as well as just on the playing field. I do really want to see you come back to life. I've loved watching you play. I love watching you pitch. That 12-6 drop is fantastic. I want to see you at your peak. I want to see the Mallards return to the playoffs. That is what we expect of them. Who knows what they could do from there, but if they don't make it for a 3rd straight season, I think things are not going to things are definitely going to be looking downward. Moving over to the AL now, we're going to start off with the Metro Magic. I think it's time for the boys. They got to return to the World Series. Well, actually, never mind. They keep making the step every year. So 2019 swept in the ALDS. They won one game in the ALDS in 2020, lost. Won two games in the ALDS, advanced to the ALCS, lost in there in 2021. Next step up is make your first World Series in franchise history. That is the expectation. With a full season of Trevor Bonham, Jason Chadwick on the mound, both have to play those guys, plus Agner, plus LJ, plus King Curdy, bro. You have such a stacked lineup, and if you need pitching depth, you still have James Swanson within the organization. You guys have such a deep roster that I think you may have enough to just push it and just go all the way. Coastal Cobras. It's the expectation almost every season. You'd think, okay, maybe it's just make the playoffs because at this point, Drew Davis is not doing the greatest. As a player, Drew was doing fantastic. It's the team around him that last year was slacking a little bit. However, this year, he's got to make the push to finally make the World Series again. I think it's his time. It's the listen. There's a very weird statistic that I keep bringing up, and I'll probably throw it on the screen now. It's like Eagles struggled for the first 6 years. They won in their seventh. So did the Preds. Cobras, I think it's their turn next to get it done. This is year 7 for the Cobras. I think it's their time to go get that W that they've been waiting for. Their overall goal is to make the push to finally make the World Series and hopefully win finally. Now, Western Wildcats. So if you guys remember in the like how the MLW Discord reacted series, there were a lot of guys who seemed pretty pissed off that the Wildcats were constantly like winning. But now that these guys have failed in 2 straight years to win after they were so close, I genuinely think some people may be still rooting for them. Some will definitely be rooting for their failure. Dark, I'm looking at you, but win it all after failing 2 consecutive times. That's what the goal is. You get so close every year. You're getting really close, but you can't finish it off. Close but no cigar. It's time that you get that damn cigar and finish it off. And finally, last team, Pacific Predators. Initially, I put down return to playoffs. That's only the start. I think these guys, with the draft pick, plus McGlade, plus Cratch, Russell, and Morta, bro, that's a scary World Series caliber team. I can see them going all the way, but the main idea here, return to the playoffs, make it to the ALCS. Like that's what I can see. I think just return to playoffs is a general idea here, but definitely after missing out just by like the slimmest of margins just because of like 6 tiebreakers, I think it's the Predators who unfortunately like it's who unfortunately they missed, but fortunately it's their time. The expectation is somewhat lower for them this year. It's not like go back to the World Series, it's just get back into the playoffs. That's my opinion. They got to get back to the playoffs, and then from there, who knows what can happen? Because postseason wiffle ball is the craziest kind of wiffle ball. We've seen this. Who knew that Michael Shima would hit a walk-off in the 2021 World Series to end it and win it for the Downtown Diamondbacks? Back in 2020, I had no clue who Norp or Shima was. I saw them on the draft boards, but I did not think it was going to happen. And the Diamondbacks, I thought would be out of the league at this point, but I was ever so wrong. With that being said, guys, so there is my expectation for all 8 teams. Let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see coming up next. I want to thank you guys all very much for watching. I will see you guys all next time. Peace out.